Hi, I'm Doug, your tech support representative for Atlantic British, and in this video we're going to touch base on belt replacement as part of your service and maintenance program. And in this kit you simply will be getting the replacement Serpentine belt. Now this particular belt is used on both the 97 Defenders and on the Discovery 1 4 liters. Now you'll see your part number ERR 5579D. And what we're going to do is show you the basics on belt replacement. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how easy it is to change the Serpentine belt on your D90. Now this is a 97 with the Serpentine, not with the multiple V belts. So this is the belt you're going to receive in your kit. Your part number, quite ERR 5579D. We'll set that right there. First step, we're going to take this upper coolant hose. That'll just slide up out of the way very nicely. You have two bolts that run down through the brackets that support the fan shroud. Normally 10mm heads on the two. And the center section of this upper shroud is just held in place with two clips. One here, you're just going to lift up, release that clip. Down on the other side you have the same style clip. You're going to roll this forward so that it clears so you can lift straight up and out. And this gives you pretty nice access to this. Now we've got enough clearance in there. Your belt tensioner, which is right here, has a 15mm head on the nut right there. And that's what we're going to turn to take the tension off the belt. Now it's a 15mm. I use a long 15 wrench, gear wrench. There are a number of fan wrenches available out there, and you just need something fairly long that'll give you the leverage you need. And you're going to push down, which you see releases the tension on the belt. Slip it off the top of the alternator. Now, as a note, before you take the belt off completely, take a note of the way it's routed. Under the water pump, under the lower pulley, over the top of the power steering pump, top of the alternator, and around the compressor. Once you loosen the belt up, the fan is in the way. So you can loop the belt around the fan, turn the fan until that area of the belt comes around. The fan will actually assist in that and help you out with that. Take this side off the power steering pump, push it down to give us some slack, and simply slide your belt out. Now this belt's in pretty good condition, and we're just doing this as demonstrative. So you would essentially take your belt out, and what I recommend, just a habit I got into all the years, is take the two belts end to end, stretch them out. You just want to verify you got the right size belt before you go trying to install it and find out it might be off an inch. And this one's a good fit. You can see it's exactly the same as the original that came out. So set that aside. Now we'll drop this down so that you can actually slip the bottom of the belt right underneath the fan, which will then put us right around the bottom of the lower pulley, which is where we should be. And we'll start off there on the installation. Lift up a little bit and set the belt in the grooves. Now we remembered we went over the top of the power steering pump. We're going to take this piece on the right side and just run it over here around the AC compressor, because that's where eventually it's going to go. And we went under the water pump. Which means we have to go around the fan again.
Unfortunately, with this upper shroud off, you really have
some room to work where you can put your hand down inside and push that belt down below the fan blades. It's a tight fit between the water pump and the lower pulley, which means you can feed in from one side and pull on the other. There we go. So you want to recheck and make sure we didn't slip off the bottom pulley. And as I say, we can get our hand down in there. Alright, very good. Pop over one ring. Now make sure the belt is centered. You want to give it a good look because it could feel like it's on, but you could be one rib over. Which means after you put it on, you'll have to take it all back apart again and readjust it. Okay, centered on both sides of the lowered, centered on the underside of the water pump pulley, over the top of the power steering pulley. We're going to be between the water pump pulley and the tensioner pulley. Okay, top of the alternator. Now when we go around the AC compressor, you can unloop the belt from around the alternator, because that's where you're going to end up putting it back on. And you hold up on that section of the belt to retain tension so that you don't slip off down below and have to do that again. Okay, we'll double check. We're still centered on the bottom pulley. We'll look good here, look good here. Center the belt on the idler pulley. Again, you're going to maintain tension. Take your long 15 millimeter. Push down to relieve the tension on the belt. Slide that on. Check for tension. That looks good. Again, always double check and triple check. Make sure your ribs are lined up where they should be, that the belt is centered on the pulleys, and we look good. So that essentially, our belt is now on. And all you need to do at this point is reinstall the upper shroud cover. Put your clips on, your 2 bolts. Then you have changed your serpentine belt. Now when you put this upper shroud in, it's actually a sort of a slot that it sits in. You want to make sure it's fully seated, and you'll know if it isn't because you'll have a real hard time trying to clamp this clip. If it pops on that easy, you know you're in place. Same thing with the lower. You'll feel it pop in, clamp it. Put your 2 bolts back on to hold with the upper shroud. These are essentially just sheet metal screws that thread into the plastic itself. Put your hose back on. Make sure that when you put the hose back on, you don't create any tight bends, that you have a good looping bend on there so it doesn't restrict the coolant. And there you are. You've got a brand new belt on there. So when you're ready to change the belt on your D90, give a call to any of our knowledgeable salesmen at 1-800-533-2210, and they'll be happy to help you out.